High harmony seekers. Today, we're going to deep diving into overcoming external pressures in relationships. If you stand from above and look at the huge ocean, you would see the waves. They kind of go up and down, crashing into each other and getting all tangled up. It's kind of like how we deal with all the challenges in our relationships, don't you think? But did you know that? Underneath those waves, there's this huge calm area that really shows how deep and peaceful every bond can be. Our relationships are like the ocean, you know? Let's talk about the external pressures that couples face in our modern world. We'll be exploring the pressures that come from family, society, friends, and even our own thoughts about social media. By understanding and dealing with these pressures, we can make sure our bonds stay strong, even when things get tough. A lot of us might be dealing with these pressures and feeling them affect our connection. By the end of this conversation, you'll have uncovered some really cool insights, stories, and methods that will help you strengthen your relationships. You'll not just understand why and how these pressures are formed, but also discover strategies to handle them with grace. You'll learn how to stay true to yourself, even when society expects certain things from you. Embracing pressures will become a way for you to grow and learn. And you'll see how changing your perspective can turn obstacles into opportunities. Let's talk about how to shed light on the ways to make your relationships thrive, even when faced with challenges. Right in the heart of the city, you can feel the lively energy of trams and coffee shops. It's like they're always buzzing with stories of love and togetherness. But when couples get married, they often realize that they have to consider not only their own preferences, but also the expectations of their families. Families. They hold a special place in our hearts, right? But sometimes they can seem like a lot to handle when it comes to a couple's future. Let me tell you a story about one of my clients. Maggie and Leon were a very happy Asian couple. They were newly married, and the city was full of infinite possibilities for them. But you know what? Every single sunset they looked at from their cute little balcony was always ruined by Leon's family, who meant well, but just couldn't give them any space. Family opinions were always a part of the conversation, whether it was about choosing the color of their curtains or making plans for the weekend. You know, those peaceful dreams they used to have at night? Well, they've been totally drowned out by all the noisy family discussions they have during dinner. Imagine this little sapling bursting with potential, just planted in the middle of a beautiful forest. The big old trees, with their wide leaves, kind of cast a shadow over the little sapling and make it lean towards the direction where it can catch some sunlight. The little sapling just wants to grow tall and find its own way towards the sunlight. However, it can be quite a challenge with those established trees. They're so rooted in their own ways. Doesn't that feeling seem familiar to you? Have you ever felt like a young sapling, just wanting your own space in the sun, but always being overshadowed? Sometimes the love we have for our families and the values we've been raised with can make things a bit tricky. The dance between us as a couple and as a family member is quite interesting. Don't you think? Well, it's a challenge that's been around for ages. But you know, it all comes down to our natural desire to fit in, to respect our history, and at the same time, create our own way forwards. How do you dance to the rhythms of family values? While still creating a special dance routine with your partner, how can you find your own rhythm in this dance? How about mindful communication? It's not like some kind of magic spell or anything, but more of a deliberate decision. In every conversation, we need to be fully present, listen with our hearts, and speak with compassion. When you're talking to your family, it's really important to make sure they know that you appreciate their concern, but also that you value your independence. Maybe it's like a family get-together, where you can openly talk about your hopes and dreams as a couple, or even just set some ground rules for everyday conversations. Maggie and Leon were so inspired by this amazing mindfulness retreat, they went on in the Dandenong Ranges. They decided to have a heart-to-heart conversation during a peaceful family picnic by the Yarra River. They were talking about how grateful they were and how much they loved their family. They also shared their dreams as a couple. They not only showed how much they valued their connection with the family, but also made sure that their personal choices were respected. Life is full of ups and downs, just like the ebb and flow of the Yarra. It throws challenges and joys our way. In the complex world of relationships, let's hope we can gracefully acknowledge our past, appreciate the present, and dream about the future. As you enjoy your morning coffee or evening tea, take a moment to think about this. In the complex tapestry of family and love, where do you envision yourself fitting in? How do you go about blending the old melodies with your new tunes? You can really see the contrast between the modern and historical elements in the lively streets and neighborhoods. The apartments are really modern and stylish, standing next to those cute houses. It's cool how they show different architectural styles and reflect the unique hopes and dreams of the people who live there. A lot of couples see their shared space as more than just a house. It's a reflection of their dreams together. But there's this unspoken tension that can sometimes take away from the real joy of being in a relationship together. Every night, Maggie and Leon always share their goals and dream with each other. Their vision was pretty straightforward. They wanted a cozy home filled with love and laughter, and maybe a small garden where Maggie could grow her roses. They were so in love, full of hope, and exciting to begin their own little family together. They lived on a budget to save money so that they would be able to have their own home. They both had this dream of finding a charming townhouse in Fitzroy, a place that had a rich history and also held the promise of creating new memories. But, you see, the world around them had a completely different story to tell. It felt like everywhere they looked, whether it was on Instagram, on Facebook, or during casual conversations with friends, people were always talking about these amazing, fancy homes. They were filled with all the latest gadgets and stylish decor, setting a standard that everyone seemed to feel the need to live up to. They started to doubt their decision, thinking maybe their dream was too small, too ordinary. Just imagine yourself strolling at the famous Queen Victoria Market. Each stall has so many options to choose from. You can find everything from fresh produce to gourmet cheeses, handcrafted goods. Wow, there's just so much of everything. In the midst of all these options, you can't help but feel a pull towards something that truly speaks to your heart and makes you feel alive. It's like a gentle longing for something that deeply satisfies your inner being. The market is just like society, It's got so many different paths to choose from. But the real adventure is all about finding what truly speaks to your heart. Have you ever felt the weight of societal standards influencing your personal choices? Like where and how you choose to live? I'm curious if you've experienced this too. Sometimes, when we're trying to live up to society's expectations, or what we see on social media, we can lose sight of what truly makes us happy. I'm not sure if this perfect version of life, especially when it comes to our homes, really matches up with what truly makes us happy and fulfilled. Maggie and Leon's story really shows us that a home isn't just about how fancy it is. It's all about the love, warmth, and memories that make it special. We cherish the mornings spent together, sipping coffee and sharing laughter. We appreciate the quiet moments when we understand each other without words. And we love how our dreams are nurtured within the warmth of our connection. Why don't you take a moment to travel back in time? Do you have a special place in mind? Maybe a charming or even a simple spot where you experienced pure happiness and a strong bond with your loved one. Living authentically takes a lot of courage, Instead of letting other people or things control your decisions, especially when it comes to something as personal as your home, try to listen to what you and your loved ones truly want. How about having a heart-to-heart conversation with our partner? What things about a home make you really happy? Do you find yourself captivated by the golden hue of dawn streaming through your window? Or maybe you're enchanted by a backyard filled with nature's sweet melody? Or could it be that an open space sparks your creativity? Maggie and Leon were really lost for a while. They really doubt themselves about the dreams and goal in life. Therefore, they decide to be on a mission to find their true selves. They decided to go back to their dreams. They ended up picking a charming flat in Northcote that might not be Instagram worthy or fancy on Facebook, but it had sunny spots, a cozy window nook, and a small balcony garden that really spoke to their dreams. It was like a symbol of their dreams coming true and a special place that represented their love. A home, no matter how big or fancy, is a special place where we create dreams, chase aspirations, and make memories together. It's true that the real beauty lies not in the walls surrounding something, but in the vibrant life that thrives inside. As you embark on your journey together, what aspects of a home do you both connect with and find essential for your happiness? In the lively streets and cafes of this city, where trams make a lot of noise and the aroma of coffee fills the air, people often find themselves making comparisons, not just on canvas, but deep within their hearts. In the midst of casual chatting and laughter, there's this unspoken battle between following our own choices and feeling the pressure from our friends to do something else. Angela and Carlos were this amazing couple with windswept hair and a real thirst for adventure. They were all about making memories that would stay with them forever, rather than collecting material possessions along the way. Their love story started when they went snowboarding up the Met Buller, surrounded by the trees or covered in snow. The ground is white and powdery, and the air is crisp and clean. But as time went on, and their friends started showing off their new homes, fancy cars, and pictures from their trips abroad, they couldn't help but feel a bit uncertain. Were they just going in a different direction, or were they lost? Just like Yarra River flowing peacefully through the city, looking up at the impressive skyscrapers, and wondering if its gentle current can compete with their grandeur. Have you ever had a casual conversation with a friend that made you start thinking about where your life is headed and if you're going at the right speed? You know, with everyone sharing their accomplishments online nowadays, it's so easy to overlook the fact that our true stories aren't really captured in pixels or sound waves. These things are whispered in shared dreams, held in intertwined fingers, and felt in synchronized heartbeats. Peer pressure has this sneaky way of creeping into our adult lives and making us second-guess the choices we make. It's kind of crazy, right? But don't you think love is all about dancing to your own song, even if the whole world hears a different rhythm? Have you ever had a moment where you decided to switch up your dance moves, not because the music changed, but because of the people watching you? When you're feeling unsure, it's important to take a closer look at your relationship instead of focusing on what others think. Why don't you and your partner work together to create a relationship manifesto? It's like a living document that captures your shared dreams, values, and goals. This manifesto is here to remind you that while other people's journeys may be enlightening, yours is enchanting in its own special way. While exploring the beautiful scenario of Met Buller, Angela and Carlos had a brilliant idea to write down their manifesto. They took a break from the chaos of the world and reminded themselves of their love for moments, for quiet moments together, and for dreams that were unique to them. They came back, not with any souvenirs, but with a strong belief in their journey together. Every relationship is like its own little universe. Always appreciate the warmth of your own sun and the pull of your own moon, even if the stars might seem brighter somewhere else. Keep shining. When was the last time you and your partner had a chat about your special journey together? Maybe we should consider revisiting that story tonight under the Southern Cross. As we wrap up this chapter, there's still a whole lot more to explore, you know? We've been talking about how those outside influences that can sometimes make it hard for us to fully understand our relationships. I have divided this conversation about overcoming external pressures in relationships into 3 parts. This is part 1, and we have come to the end of part 1. Let's keep this conversation going and explore the essence of genuine connection. In part 2, we'll be diving into financial pressures, the challenges of work and career, the profound depths of health concerns, and the maze of navigating social media. It's going to be a great opportunity to discuss and explore these issues together, working towards bringing peace and understanding into our relationships. I'm really looking forward to see you in part 2.